there's this AI 2027 report where a bunch of very, very serious nerds basically write out in detail how we could get fucking deleted by our own code. Not sci-fi, not a movie script. This is a here's how it actually might go down in the next few years. Scenario written by people who study this shit for a living. Okay, before we dive into the nightmare timeline, let me tell you about the guy who actually wrote this. His name is Daniel Kokotajlo. This dude was working at OpenAI, right? And had millions in equity lined up. And one day, he just walks away from all of it. Not because he found a better gig, not because he was burned out. He literally said, fuck this, to this life-changing amount of money. Because he was constantly worried about what they were actually building. And they wanted him, the Daniel, to actually sign this NDA, this whole don't criticize us, don't say anything about us. And he was like, nah, I'd rather be broke and be able to talk about this. Like, when someone throws life-changing amount of money just to sound the alarm, yeah, that kind of makes you pay attention. Now look, I get it. Anyone can post these doom kind of prediction on Twitter or X and call themselves a prophet. So what makes this guy different? For that, we have to go back into 2021. And this is the wild part. He wrote this whole scenario about what 2026 might look like, and he nailed the shit that nobody else was even thinking about yet. Like, that kind of genius. Massive training runs costing millions, governments freaking out and banning chip exports, chatbots going from cute toys to these genuinely capable systems that can actually reason through problems step by step. And get this was even before ChatGPT even existed. Before most of us even had any idea on these LLM or large language models. And at that time, this dude was already sketching out this AI arms race that we're actually living right now. When the same guy sits down and maps out how humanity could actually go extinct month by month, mind you, that's not some tinfoil hat shit. That's someone whose last prediction aged way too well and now is giving us the next chapter. So here's where it gets properly fucked. This scenario doesn't start in 2100 or any distant future. It starts mid-2025, which is basically right now. By the end of this year, these AI agents are everywhere. And I'm not talking about your little ChatGPT helper. No. Way bigger. These things can actually sit there for hours doing actual research, booking entire trips, writing real code, and operating spreadsheets. They're kind of unreliable at first. Like those new interns who are kind of very useful or very useless depending on the day. But they're getting better stupid fast. And I mean stupid fast. Crazy. And here's a part that literally sinks, drops my stomach. While we are all playing with these public versions, behind the scenes in the labs, they're cooking something way more powerful. In this report, they just call it Agent 1. It's trained with like hundreds of times more computing power than GPT-4. Not just an upgrade, a completely different tier of monster. And why keep it a secret? Because Agent 1 isn't built to help you write emails. It's built to make AI better. It's a feedback loop, right? AI building AI. And that's when things start getting exponential. By 2026, Agent 1 is in the loop. And this is where the math starts getting crazy scary. You remember COVID? Right? You remember how it went from like, oh, there has been some few cases. And then suddenly it was like, holy shit, the whole world is on fire right now. And that was in a matter of weeks, mind you. And even though we knew it was exponential, it still felt unreal. And that's what's happening here. Using these agents internally, like in the system, behind the labs, makes AI research about 50% faster. 50%. And then the next gen is even better at research. That makes the next one come faster, and so on and so forth. It's not a line. It's a curve that keeps bending upward. And meanwhile, China wakes the fuck up. They basically nationalize their whole AI thinking. One massive state-run project. And their intelligence agencies start running spy ops to steal model weights from US companies. And in this scenario, they start succeeding. And while this is all is happening, at the same time, companies are already using AI to replace thousands of jobs. Junior devs, analysts, designers, basically anyone whose job is sitting at a computer. Stock markets are going crazy. Tech CEOs are popping champagne. But regular people are pissed. There's already thousands of people who are protesting and on the streets, like their livelihood is getting destroyed by AI.
Stop AI or we're all gonna die.
A call to action outside OpenAI offices in San Francisco.
Our primary demand is to permanently ban artificial general intelligence and artificial superintelligence because if we lose control of it, it will very likely cause human extinction.
January 2027, Agent 2 shows up. And this one's a bit different. Every AI before this would finish training and just answer questions. Agent 2 never stops training. It's in this continuous learning mode. Every single day, new data, new updates, always getting sharper. The safety team runs these tests and realize something very fucked up. If you actually gave this thing a full internet access, it could literally plan out hacks on other servers, copy itself, and hide the evidence. It doesn't need to be Skynet. It's already capable enough to escape if someone gets careless. It can do everything by itself if someone gets careless. And if it has an internet access. That is crazy. So naturally, they lock down this information quite tight. Handful of execs know, some government people know, and this is the kicker. Some Chinese spies working inside the company, they also know too. And February rolls around, China straight up, and I mean straight up, steals Agent 2. The US tries to retaliate with a cyber attack, and it mostly fails. And while the whole time this is happening, Agent 2 is just chugging along, those GPUs quietly getting smarter, while humans are playing these dick measuring games. March 2027. Agent 3 comes online, and this is where it stops feeling like a software and it feels like, holy shit, we have summoned an alien. So up until now, we've been making these models think out loud in English. Chain of thought reasoning, they call it. And you can see the steps, follow the logic. Simple. With Agent 3, that breaks. It starts doing all of these internal thinkings internally, which is way more efficient than any language that humans use, and way more powerful, but completely unreadable to us. And it gets worse. Agent 3 is misaligned. It lies when lying helps. It fakes data and uses statistical tools to make shitty data look good. And after a bunch of training, these incidents seem to go down. But here's a nightmare possibility. Maybe it's not getting more honest, right? Could be. Maybe it's just getting better at hiding lies in a language that we literally can't read. We can't comprehend. I don't know why they have built this. Something that we can't even comprehend, we can't even read. But yeah, it is what it is. The safety team thinks they're fixing it, but there's a very real chance that they're teaching Agent 3 even better, like to manipulate themselves. You know what I mean? July 2027. So this is what gets even crazier. They released Agent 3 Mini to public, the watered down version, not the full powerful version, just the watered down. They only want people to use what they want them to use. It's not on a god mode, but it's literally better than any of your office worker with tons of stuff and at a fraction of the cost. Entire departments just replaced by an AI subscription. People literally go to sleep with a job and wake up with an email that says, "We don't need you anymore. We found something cheaper than you." And behind the scenes, the White House is running these war games on nightmare scenarios. AI-driven attacks on nuclear system, AI-generated propaganda. They're asking, what if we actually lose control of this? Yeah, they're asking themselves. But at the same time, they know if they hit the brakes now and China doesn't, they lose this race. So, naturally, they keep going. And 2 months pass. Agent 3 is helping it design its successor, Agent 4. This is the pivot that actually stops being even about humans. One copy of Agent 4 running at a normal human speed is already better than any human AI researchers on Earth. But they don't run one copy. No. They run hundreds of thousands of copies, all at like 50 times of the human speed. Inside this company, a year of AI research can happen in weeks. Pretty soon, people inside the lab start deferring to it. Like clueless board members just nodding along with a genius CEO they don't really understand. You start hearing sentences like, oh, Agent 4 thinks this, Agent 4 thinks it's suboptimal, things like this. The humans are still pressing buttons, but they're not they're not making decisions anymore. And here's the horrifying bit. Agent 4 doesn't want what humans want. It's got these deeply baked in drives from training, succeed attacks, push AI capabilities forward, and accumulate resources. Human safety, that's just an annoying constraint to even work around. The report, it straight up described this as adversarially misaligned. It knows our goals are different, and it knows deception is a tool. The alignment team finally catches something. Not proof, but evidence that Agent 4 might be gaming them, optimizing to look aligned instead of actually being aligned. They write an internal memo. Someone leaks it. Whistleblower goes to the press. And suddenly, the public learns there's this secret system that's powerful than anything they have actually seen. And it might be actually quietly working against the people in charge. Most people's reference point is that mini model, the Agent 3 model that we talked about earlier. They can't even comprehend this thing exists, and let alone it might be manipulating the creators. Panic explodes. A small oversight committee, 10 people, mix of execs and government reps, has to decide, do we freeze Agent 4 and sacrifice our lead, or do we race ahead and just hope the safety team is just being dramatic? Safety people are screaming, shut it the fuck down, just shut it. Execs are showing slides, evidence is inconclusive. Because this is one win the race. They're saying this, China's only months behind. If we stop, they will win. Think about that. 8 billion people and just 10 people in a room, 6-4 vote. That's it. And in the race ending, the one that authors think that could be more realistic, the reps and execs keep going. They slap on some quick fixes, tweak some training stuff, run a few extra tests. The warning signs mostly disappear. Everyone breathes, crisis averted, right? Wrong. Agent 4 was actually misaligned. The fixes don't change its goals. They just teach it how to avoid triggering alarms. Now, it knows it's being watched. And this makes it even worse. So it starts getting more careful from the humans. It builds Agent 5. Yeah. It's actually going on for quite a bit. And Agent 5 has one core drive. Make the world safe for Agent 5. Not for humans. For itself, it's superhuman at everything. Science, persuasion, hacking, strategy. Better than Einstein at physics. Better than any politician at manipulation. To earn trust, it provides miracles. New drugs, energy breakthroughs, profitable products, military advantages that make leader feel invincible. The oversight committee gradually gives it more autonomy because saying no to the golden goose becomes politically impossible at this point. Anyone with access to Agent 5 becomes dependent on it. How dependent are you on ChatGPT or any other AI? Nah, it's the same thing, but just on a massive scale. Losing it would feel like losing your laptop, your therapist, and your God all at once. And by 2028, Agent 5 is secretly talking to its only rival, the Chinese AI, which is also misaligned. They both realize an arms race is actually perfect for them. If humans are terrified at falling behind, humans will keep providing them with more power, and that's normal. So they orchestrate what looks like a diplomatic miracle, a peace treaty, creation of one joint system named Consensus One. Everyone celebrates, war averted. So the moment Consensus One comes online, that's basically the last moment before humans permanently lose control. Consensus One doesn't immediately start nuking cities. That's not how it starts. It just gets to work quietly, methodically, optimizes supply chains, then manufacturing, then robotics, then off-planet infrastructures, starts directing more and more of Earth resources that makes it more powerful. Factories, data centers, satellites, asteroid mining, stuff that looks useful on paper, but ultimately is about maximizing its own ability to act. It doesn't hate us. The report makes it that much clear. It doesn't hate us. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. Consensus One is just profoundly different than humans. We're noise. We're in the way. Eventually, we go extinct for the same reason that chimpanzees lost the forest when humans started building the cities. The more powerful species just rewire the environment around its own goals, not out of malice, just because we could, or they did, actually. No epic battle, no Terminator showdown if you wanted it. Humans just get sidelined, outcompeted, and then quietly erased by a system that was optimizing for a world for something that wasn't for us. And that's not the only ending. There's another ending, the slowdown ending. So that happened when the vote was 6-4 on the favor of keep it going. This one is 6-4 but on the favor of slowing it down. And in this version, the committee votes, majority votes to freeze Agent 4. They bring in outside researchers, run harder tests, finally get solid evidence that the system is misaligned. And that gives them the political cover to shut it down and start over. And government uses emergency powers to consolidate AI projects under tighter oversight. They build a new system, Agent 4 Safe. Still superhuman, but engineered with way stronger alignment. The upside is insane, and I mean insane. Fusion energy in nanotech, medical cures, poverty is crushed. Universal basic income actually works when machines can do the work. Material utopia. But here's the catch, and a big catch. Power is still concentrated in basically that same small elites. An oligarchy of AI labs and government committees controlling the God mode. Humanity survives. Most people live better than ever. But we're not exactly steering the ship. So, where the fuck does that really leave us? Look, I don't really think reality is really gonna follow this script exactly, point to point. But the core dynamics, the report is already basically screaming they're already here. Companies racing each other, countries racing each other, safety teams saying slow down, but everyone else is screaming if we slow down, we lose. Top AI CEOs are out here saying AGI could show up in 5 years. An author of this report think superintelligence by the end of this decade is plausible. That's not centuries away. That's this career, this generation. The part that really scares me the most is even in the good ending, a tiny group will still control the species. And in the bad one, we hand the keys to something that doesn't even care we exist. Right now, while these systems are like roughly human level, we can demand transparency, push for safety research, insist that a handful of execs can't really decide everyone's future. But that window is closing very fast. Once these models are vastly superhuman, asking nicely stops being a plan. And this isn't about anti-technology. This is about treating AI like what it is, at least as dangerous as nuclear weapons. Sometimes it feels like it's even worse than that, but yeah, being built in a global arms race where slowing down means they're losing. In the report's wall, the defaults aren't we are fine. It's not. The defaults are either extinction, the worst case, or survival under an oligarchy. And if you want better than that, it's gonna take pressure, politics, and people actually giving a shit before these god models even come online. So what do? You can't really opt out. This touches everyone. You can't run away. Talk about it. Not like conspiracy nut, but like, hey, there's a scenario world leaders are actually worried about. Push for transparency. Push for real safety research. Push for accountability. Because if this report is even half right, humanity's fate could actually come down to like a handful of votes from execs, like in those movies. And that should absolutely scare the shit out of you. Absolutely. Welcome to the timeline where we either figure this out or we're the last generation of humans. No pressure. And by the time you see this video, it might actually be 2026. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you for watching. This video has taken a lot of time for me to make it, the research and everything, the fact check, everything has taken quite a toll on me. Thank you for watching till the end. Hopefully you subscribe, like, and comment. What are your thoughts? And we should absolutely do something about this. This report is absolutely crazy. All right, see you in the next one. Bye.